Yeah, what's going on? It is Joe and Vinny
We're
back again.
Off a hiatus, a 2-week hiatus.
A 2-week hiatus.
But
Has
back in the game.
Has it only been 2 weeks?
It has. It's been 2 weeks, Joe.
Yeah, no, I was just saying it's been about 2 weeks.
Third week. Why don't you tell everyone when you woke up?
I don't know if you can tell, but I've been awake for roughly 10 minutes.
Yes. I did my traditional wait in the driveway like an anxious girlfriend. But you showed up. And we're back at it. How's everything going, Joe?
How great is that? You know what I mean?
It's pretty great.
Just when you think I've let you down, I wake up and I come to the door.
And we're back at it. Don't mind me. I'm looking at my phone real quick because I got to get this posted for our fans who'd like to listen to us live.
When I woke up just a little while ago, I woke up and, like, you know, when you don't have your wits about you, I didn't know what day it was. I didn't know what was going on. My wife said, I think Vinny's here.
Yeah, I saw the Christmas lights come on the porch, and I'm like, all right, someone saw me here. I've only been here for like 20 minutes.
I'm taking those Christmas lights down today. You know what's funny? I have one of my neighbors also has some Christmas lights, and it seems like we're playing a game.
Who's gonna keep them on longer?
Yeah.
I'm not I'm a early Christmas lights guy, but like first week of January, let's cut it down. Yeah. Now my it's a pet peeve of mine. Actually, it's such a pet peeve. One time at my old house, I got real drunk, and then I army crawled into 2 houses down to try to take the lights off this house, and then everyone was staring at me in the front window while I was armor crawling, and it's probably why I got a divorce. I mean, I don't know if that's the main reason, but I think it was the shenanigans of that nature over a certain period of time, and here we are, though.
I get it.
We've moved on to bigger and better things.
No, that's the way it's supposed to be.
For all my listeners who can't see me, I am in a nice Merlot-colored suit today.
You look sharp.
Amazing.
You do. You look fantastic.
Yeah, I've been like slow growing this beard because my wife doesn't like beards. But like this has been like I have to just keep it short but let it grow every little bit.
Why doesn't she like beards?
I don't know. I didn't ask, but my wife didn't notice. She just thought my jaw was getting bigger. Which is weird, right? Like, oh, I just thought like your jaw was getting bigger and you didn't say anything. Like if I had some weird disease where my jaw was just growing.
Wait, I'm sorry. She thought your jaw was growing because you have a beard?
No, she didn't acknowledge the beard. She just thought my jaw was getting bigger. Yeah, I don't even know how that works, but it gave for a good chuckle. a very good chuckle.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a fun weekend last weekend.
What'd you do?
Went to a college visit with me and his dad. So it was like 2 dudes and a baby.
That should be a movie.
It was definitely getting some looks, his dad.
Do people think maybe you guys?
Oh, for sure. But like it's like he's like 6'5", like, and he's a man's man.
Yeah.
And there's me. So it was definitely
You're the lady.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am not the brute. But it was a good time. We went down to Coastal Carolina. Parents beware, don't let your children go there.
I have one friend that graduated from that school.
How long did it take your friend? 8 years?
Probably. And his best quality is his ability to take things and sort of figure out a shortcut to money.
it's the best campus in the world for that.
Yeah, I could see. I get it. Again, my buddy was there. I remember because remember when their football team was good a few years ago. Do you remember that?
Yeah, their baseball team won the World Series maybe 2016-17. They got a good sports program.
Yeah, they do. It's funny. Again, my buddy suddenly was like into coastal Carolina, and I was like, "Oh, what is your fascination, guy from just over the border of Mass? What's your fascination?" And he was like, "I went there."
Yeah,
And suddenly it was like, "Oh,
that makes sense.
All of this about you makes sense."
Yeah, so we go down, and so mind you, Jess got like a presidential scholarship to Quinnipiac honors program, double major honors program at Sacred Heart. And he's like, I want to go visit Coastal Carolina, which has a 40% graduation rate, and 28% of the 40% take 5 years. And so we go down there, and I'm like, well, why would anyone come down here and send their kid here? And then you look around the campus. It is like I might go back to college. So we go, and, they have the stats. It's like top 7 colleges in the Southeast within like a 5-mile radius. It's crazy stats. Like everyone knows. And the lady's like, we have like an accredited walking class.
Oh, that's good. Get your steps in.
Yes. So it was crazy. It was, but it was good. He really liked it. But I just, it's been a fun time in the house because, my wife's not about that coastal Carolina life, and I don't blame her because you're going to get a job at AutoZone after 4 years of college if you make it, and it's like a 76% transfer out rate. Like it's so much fun. You could only do it like a year.
I would bet like the freshman fail out rate's probably like a flaming 90%.
It has to,
and then
be.
It gets better. Like if you make it past freshman year, your chances of graduation are probably like 35-fold.
But when you're like talking to like the head academic lady and you're like, is this major accredited? She's like, I don't think we have that major, but I'm not really sure. And I'm like, you're not sure about what your school offers. And so I asked the lady next to her, and I'm like, well, what's your internships here? She's like, oh, we got a lot on campus. And I'm like, what is going on? Then I'm like, why would anyone come here? But the facilities are great, and the scenery is quite lovely.
They're like, why the hell are you asking about the accredited classes, loser? Look around.
But
Do you want your kid to have the time of his life out on his own for the first time with beautiful weather around beautiful people?
Yeah, it was
the recipe for disaster. It really is.
I mean, there's no way he's gonna want to go here. Then you get like the girls walk out of the dorms with bikini tops, and I'm like, game over. I'm like, bro, over this way. I'm like, just snapping.
They know how to recruit in the South. I'll tell you that.
They do. But it was an interesting trip. We had a good time, little man trip. I was actually I was in family court all day today. So I was talking to one of my clients, how me and the kid's dad, we all went down. And he looked at me like I had 8 eyeballs. I'm like, well, yeah, like that's what's supposed to be done. I know it's not the norm, but we've come a long way, but it was it was a good time. Had a little Airbnb, came back, now I'm reset. Had a trial every day this week.
No, really?
Yeah, I got one more tomorrow.
Wow. Good
Probably
for you.
Should be prepping right now, as a matter of fact.
You are prepping.
But I'm that good. I literally told the attorney today that wake me up when it's my turn to talk. Because that's how much of an ass kicking that's going to happen tomorrow.
Well, let me ask you this. Yeah. Where does that air of confidence come from?
Ooh, I'm not going to lie. I've always had this confidence, and it's bad because I'm like this, and like when it comes to like things I'm doing, right? Like there's certain things I'm not confident in, but like I was always that kid who was like mediocre at sports, but my coach would say if I was half as good as my mouth was, I'd be pro.
You just had to find the right sport.
I never did.
No, you did. It's just not an actual sport.
I think like it's like for me, I think as far as my legal profession goes, I think it's just because we've discussed this before. I found my lane, kind of do my own thing.
Yeah.
Right. I think I spent most of my career trying to be like every other attorney, and kind of leaning into what I'm good at.
Yeah.
Because no one does it like I do it.
So nobody does it better.
So I think once you embrace how you do things and say it's okay to do it your way, it just makes it easier. And I've been doing it 20 years. So I've been in a groove lately, like a groove. I had to talk to an attorney today.
This is how Vinny got his groove back.
I did. It was wild. So I'm
you know what, the beard actually and your hair, you know who you look like?
I would say, I hope it's someone good looking.
New York Yankee shortstop, Derek Jeter.
Oh man,
Look. There he is.
Maybe he doesn't have a beard.
Yeah, he did. He does now.
Yeah, I wish I had Derek Jeter money. That'd be good. It'd just be the end of the podcast right there. I'd just walk out, be a billionaire. Oh, I heard a good debate.
You're lucky this guy's not loaded like Derek Jeter.
Yeah. Oh, Kelly's on. I'm actually like there's Kelly, then there's me. Kelly is the one who introduced me and Claudia. She's the responsible party.
What's up, Phyllis?
Was my mom on? Oh God. And Kelly is the bee's knees of family law. She's where the buck stops with divorce attorneys and child custody. But yeah, she's the responsible party for me and Claudia. So cheers. Thank you. What are you doing? Are you typing her name in?
Putting that into my contacts just in case.
Boy, dude.
I joke.
I kid.
Just kidding.
But yeah, so that was a fun trip. We had a good time. And my wife's going to Paris next week.
Without you?
Yes, without me.
Oh, so she'll have a great time.
Funny man, this is how this podcast is going to be today. We're just letting everyone know we don't have a plan either.
When I woke up 10 minutes ago, I chose violence.
Yeah. So
she's going. Who's she going with?
She's going with a couple of friends. Sorry, Kelly. Because Kelly and Claudia are best friends, but she's going
and Kelly got left out.
Other friends. My bad. Yeah. So she's going. I want to say 4 or 5 days, but she deserves it. She needs a break, and I really didn't have any interest in going to Paris.
No, why would you?
I don't like French food. I don't give a rip about the Eiffel Tower, and I'm not a big fan of like French people. I like real French people, like Maine French.
I've been.
You've been to where? Maine French?
Maine French? Yeah, nice area. It's weird. The accents are hard to understand.
When my grandparents used to talk to each other, it sounded like turkeys just attacking me. I didn't understand what was going on. You've been to Paris?
I have.
Was this recently?
Recently as in since I've known you?
I mean, you're like 50.
Yeah.
So was it like 40s, 50s, a high school trip?
Boy. No. This was like 10 years ago.
Did you like it?
No.
Why not? That's offended some people.
It's an old city. Just an old gray blah city. The Eiffel Tower was cool, I guess.
I don't find those things fascinating at all. Like, I have no desire to see, like, I want to go to Italy, but I don't want to go see the Colosseum. Like, none of it.
Oh, see, I was also in Italy.
How much money do you have, Joe? Because, like, I've been to, like, Quasi, Six Flags.
I've been there, too.
Lake Compounds.
Yeah.
I've hit all the amusement parks.
I know people.
Must be nice. I'm doing something wrong.
No, and Italy was nice, too. Well, it's funny. I went to Italy. I was in Rome for 4 days, and every day was triple digits.
I mean, hot?
Like 100, 102, 103.
That'd be my worst nightmare.
Dude, I sweated so much.
Sweated a word?
Sweated. I sweated.
You were Sweated it?
I sweat. Did I just sweat? Is sweated not a word? Is he just?
I don't know.
It's
I
the
just never
plural.
heard, I don't think I've ever
The
heard
past
someone
tense
say
is
sweated it.
sweat. I worked up a good sweat.
There
I
you go.
sweated. I sweated? I don't
I
know.
don't know. It just sounded weird.
It does sound weird. I don't like
Right?
it. I'm not going to say it
Yeah,
again.
I don't want to go anywhere where I have to sweat a lot. I sweat a lot and I have no hair, so it right down the
I
face.
got on a train in Rome to go down the Amalfi Coast. And this woman came over from the train, right? Train lady, train server lady, whatever you want to call her. She had a bottle
Waitress?
No, because she's on a train.
A waitress.
I guess. Is that what they call them on a train?
Stewardess?
Like a stewardess, but on a
On
train.
train.
You know what I mean? Well, she came over. She had a bottle of Prosecco. And she goes, "Do you guys what?" And we were like, "Yeah." It was our honeymoon. It's our honeymoon. We were.
Prosecco.
I love Prosecco. It's so good.
It's so gross.
Dude, this lady pops the cork. The cork shoots off the ceiling, hits me in the head. And as all that's happening, the bottle just everywhere. And it's 103 degrees, and Prosecco lands all over me.
Okay.
And she goes, "It's a good luck."
Yeah.
I'm sticky, though. Real sticky.
It's like a bird shitting on you.
Yeah.
Speaking of bird pooping, Kelly would like this story. We went to the beach with her family, and a bird pooped on her kid.
Oh.
And they may have laughed a little bit.
Did the kid freak out? Kids don't like that.
I try not to laugh.
Especially if it gets near the mouth.
Dude, like, I don't like birds either. This can be a weird podcast.
Birds are weird, yeah.
They're gross. I had a pet bird. I had 2 pet birds.
What kind of birds?
I had a parrot named Bandit that my mom got rid of, and still don't know what happened with the parrot.
No.
But it was mean because my mom used to like to hit me with wooden spoons. Yeah, Mom. Cat's out of the bag now that you're listening. And so the bird used to grab the wooden spoon. And I came home from school one day and poor Bandit was gone. Then we had Scouty.
Tell me about Scouty.
Scouty was a cool little white bird. Just hung out.
What's a little white bird?
It's a fucking bird that was little and it was all white. I don't know what kind of bird it was.
Was he tropical?
No, it wasn't like a cool cockatoo. It was just like a little bird. It wasn't a sparrow, but it was like just looking like a fucking white little bird. I don't even know if it was a real pet or
like a canary, maybe?
That was white. It was a white bird named Scouty. Yeah, big facts. Mom, confirm that. All right, this podcast is going off the rails. Let's get back control.
You are off the rails. I don't believe there's any sort of white bird. I've been on Wikipedia and I've never seen this alleged white bird.
Did you see that?
Oh, I know what you had.
A what?
A dove.
Debbie didn't have a pet dove. But speaking of
Vinnie had a dove when he was a kid. That's what I got out of this.
Pets, did you see that?
Parrot, Vincent. Parrot.
Oh, it's a parrot. There you go, Mom. Thank you. It wasn't a parrot, Mom.
Was it a cockatoo?
Did you see how the U.S. has been spending $8 million on transgender?
Oh, God
rats?
almighty. No. Oh, boy.
Did you see that?
If I have to correct one more person on this, I swear to Christ.
Wait, I got to ask. So you've had to correct people because they thought it was transgender.
Yes. Were you being sarcastic?
Oh, I was being completely sarcastic.
All right, good. Yeah. Transgenic.
Yes. But
I've had this. I talked to somebody about it today, and the response I got was, yeah, same thing. And I'm like, no, it's not.
It's not. It's definitely not. Like, this place is out of control. Like, out of control.
Again, listen, if you're going to hate on somebody, like, at least look that shit up. Just look it up. Just make sure you got it right.
Well, it's just, my favorite is just the random numbers that are just, there's one human being that was 300 years old getting Social Security. Did you hear him go through all these numbers? And
Yeah.
I don't mean to Trump bash, but I can't stand the guy. But
no, listen, it's a
crazy.
valid point. And again, here's my beef with this guy, and it always has been really at the heart of it all, is he just lies.
He's like that guy at the bar that's hammered.
Yes.
And is just spewing.
Oh God. Now I gotta shut out my buddy RC. And the reason why is I started hanging out with this group of guys, right, in 2007. Good bunch of guys.
Mm-hmm.
And they had this one guy in the group, and I love him to death. He's my boy. His name is RC. RC wears glasses. And so in this group, it was like, oh, RC's the smart one.
Oh, no.
He works with computers, and he wears glasses. People were like, oh, he must be the smart one.
That's me. I have glasses on.
But then I met this guy,
no.
and I thought, listen, glasses, you talk out of your ass sometimes. and these were getting popular at the time.
Which is a dangerous.
I put this guy out of business. There was a couple of times we were in bars. Here's my favorite example. I had to make my buddy look bad. We were discussing the NBA.
Yep.
Who is the shortest NBA player of all time?
I don't know.
You're buying around. Who is it?
It's not Muggsy Bogues. It's Nate Archibald.
The answer is it was Muggsy Bogues.
Okay. See, I was close.
Muggsy Bogues. Do you know how tall Muggsy was?
No.
5'3".
Okay.
Who won the slam dunk contest that was a short guy?
Spud Webb.
How tall was Spud Webb?
5'6".
5'7", in fact. Yeah. Nate Robinson, 5'6", from the Knicks, who also won the slam dunk contest. So it's cool when it's a little guy. So I'm big on that stuff. I know that stuff. And so we're in this bar, and he was like, the shortest. Somebody mentioned Manute Bol being the tallest player of all time. And then somebody was like, so RC was like, yeah. And he goes, remember Spud Webb? He was the shortest player in the league, and he won the slam dunk. I go, no, that's not true. I don't know. He won the slam dunk contest, but he's 5'7", bro. I'm like, that's not. There's a couple people shorter than that, but Muggsy at 5'3" was the shortest. Yeah. And he was like, well, we'll just agree to disagree, which was his smart guy term, and that worked on everybody else.
Not Joe, the fact checker.
But I got Google.
The fact checker came in.
I made him stand on our table, shush the bar, and announce he was incorrect about who the shortest player in NBA history was.
That's aggressive. It's aggressive. Speaking of NBA, though.
Is that aggressive, you think?
Yes. I like it, but it's an aggressive move.
I was trying to teach him a lesson.
I'm sure he wrote
Don't talk that bullshit. I don't want anything. I don't want a drink. I don't owe me a drink. I just want you to stand up on the table.
But like, why do you
shush the crowd?
Like, why?
And just let everybody know.
Like, but why
you got busted?
Joe? Just let him live his life. Like, this is what you have to learn in our old age. Like,
I've been doing this for a long time.
I know.
Being a dick, I can't help it.
It's not being a dick, but it's so much better when you're just like, okay, that guy's spitting nonsense, and move on with your life.
Why is he telling people Spud Webb was the shortest player in NBA history?
Who cares?
Me.
Why?
I don't know. I hate that. I hate when people are like fake presenting like intelligence to other people. I don't like that.
I know, but it doesn't affect you. You have to learn to just stay in your lane, man. It's so much easier. I used to be like you, but I'm recovered. I've mastered that skill. Like,
what am I drinking, by the way? This is holy smokes.
Yeah, Joe's gonna be loaded by the time this show is done.
Put some hair on your sack. You know what I mean?
Speaking
Jesus.
of the NBA. Oh, hey, Kim Reed. There we go. Kim Reed's on here. We got some new listeners today. We got to keep it interesting.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's get it interesting. What do you got going on?
Well, I wanted to talk about the NBA some more.
What about it?
So I heard an interesting take on the Jordan-LeBron debate.
Okay.
Okay. So everyone talks about the GOAT debate, right? I think if we're talking about prime players, you got one game, you got to pick Jordan, right?
Yeah.
But I think overall longevity, it's LeBron James. So I think prime one-on-one, Jordan's the GOAT. I'm picking him over every player. But longevity in career, it's got to be LeBron James. It's 20 years, bro. Dude's averaging 29 points a game. Buckets at 40. You can't even argue the longevity argument. Can't. That's my take. That's my hot take.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well,
you might be right. Maybe you're right.
I am, but I think our listeners want some meat topics.
What do you got?
Stuff. Well, we already talked about before the show, but I think I always get, especially in my line of work, I get people are just in a bad spot in life, right? It's like a dentist. You don't go to your dentist because your teeth are doing well. Like you go to my office because you're having a shit day.
Yeah.
Right? Like you got hit by a car, you're selling drugs, getting a divorce, whatever the case.
Accidentally shot somebody in the throat.
Accidentally. Maybe stab somebody. But I think a lot of people, everyone I talk to, they'll blame their past. Well, this is the way I grew up. This happened to me. This happened to me. Right? And I'm reading this new book on like personality and can your personality change? Right? Or is it just an innate thing and that's your personality and you're just stuck with who you are? And the quote I thought was pretty interesting was that your history, right? Your past evolves as you evolve. So history changes.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're not changing as a person, you're going to continue to replay that history in your head in the same way, like all the time. And every time you replay that history, it's always going to change a little bit, right? It's like the game of telephone. Like something happens to you, then next week you tell your friend, and it's a slightly different version, right? But if you're just relying on your past and you're not changing who you are, you're always going to see it the same way. But if you're in a different spot, right, you're going to look back at your past and be like, you know what, it wasn't that bad, or I learned from that, and you actually have a positive outlook on your past, right? Like, so example for me would be I went through a divorce, right? And yeah, that was a crappy time. Took a whole bunch of shit to get through it. But now that I look back at it, I'm like, okay, I learned X, Y, and Z, right? It's a different look at my past. So I'm not upset about what had happened. I have a perspective of now, well, I've learned what not to do, you know, and I'm in a better spot now. So it's a different take. So I thought that was interesting on how you could take that same memory and it evolves with the way you're evolving. No, you're not into that?
No,
you're just checking your
no.
What are you on your email?
I want to show.
Bro?
Well, it's interesting. No.
I was trying to be sensitive.
I know.
Sorry, my listeners, where we're trying to have a conversation.
No, I have to show you something because that literally just inspired me when I heard that.
There we go.
I get. Cool. I don't know. Like I get emails like this. Go ahead and read that. Like a couple times a week, I get these emails, and I feel like they're fake or AI generated in some way. But it's always like, I really enjoy your episode of the Change of Plans podcast, where you and Vin gave examples of life's challenges and then overcame those challenges.
This is a great email.
Too good.
Yeah. But this is what I'm talking about.
Do you want to tell the people what it says?
Well, I mean, so I'll read the first paragraph because then it goes into some stuff. I don't know what's going on. And it looks like he's trying to sell you something. But the guy had your attention in the first paragraph. So he said, your latest chat with Vinny was a breath of fresh air. The balance you struck between humor and serious life guidance was spot on. It reminded me how a well-placed joke or story can create a perfect atmosphere for learning and growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do think we have a good vibe with that. Right?
Yeah. So I was listening to what you were saying. I thought that just kind of encapsulated sort of what you were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's an interesting take on it because I think for me, and I do it all the time, that people too, is like, okay, that's their personality, right? Like, it's just the default, kind of like the lazy way out. You know, people don't mean to be lazy, but it's just like, okay, this person is an introvert and that's why they don't hang out with a lot of people, or they're not comfortable in this situation because we have this label of this is what they are. But I don't think your personality is innate. I think it's a product of a bunch of factors: who you're with, your environment, the way you grew up. But all of those things are you could change. Like all of those factors, all of those environmental
Yeah.
things that everyone blames on. I just dropped my mic. You could change. This can be bad audio quality for our iTunes. It's not going to do well, but I'll just hold it for a little bit.
There you go.
So I think it's, I found that really helped me this week. And, every time I would get into a certain place, or I'll think about, okay, what happened yesterday? I can't let it affect today. So let me switch my perspective on how I'm looking at what happened yesterday. And it really did help me set the table for my new day. So I posted something on TikTok that my new daily habit, and I've been doing it for a few weeks now, is I post 3 things I'm grateful for when the day starts, and the 1 thing I'm unwilling to do. And I think that second part is the most important part, right? Like it's, one day it's I'm unwilling not to be relentless, or I'm unwilling to procrastinate. So, because then it reminds you when you do go to do it, you're catching yourself because you've already made a commitment to yourself that I'm unwilling to do it. So, and that goes back to, looking at the perspective of either it was yesterday or last week or 3 years ago, right? Are you unwilling to give into that like past memory? Because that past memory doesn't define who you are today, right? And I think you want to be better than who you are today too, right? So either you're going to live by how you thought you were defined as your past, or live how you want your future self to be. And I think that's also key too. Imagine if you had the perspective that, you know what, I'm going to live today like I want my future self to be. Imagine that perspective, right? Because now your focus on today is a different shift of being a better person, or getting into a better position, or being a better parent, or doing better at work. Is now, well, I'm not looking at the past and how I got here, but I'm looking at today and knowing I want to get to the future. I thought that was kind of it's definitely interesting topics that they have in this book, and that's stuff I'm addressing. So I thought it was pretty cool.
I like that, actually.
Right?
That's deep. I feel like that's kind of how I've gotten through a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you're living knowing that your future self is going to be better than you are today, it's a much more exciting life, right? Because I think the realities, and we say this all the time, we got 1% problems, right? Like that's the reality of it. So our lives now are very good. But if we're living to be our future self, then I think it's just that much more exciting, instead of looking at the past and be like, well, I got here, so I'm either satisfied or I'm not satisfied with where I'm at, and I'm going to blame everything in my past, instead of taking stock of where you are today and be like, well, where do I want to go? And what habits, what things do I need to do to change it? So when I talk about stacking habits, right, that's always my biggest thing. I've been really good about stacking my habits, and I pick new habits every week, and usually 1 week it'll be like a health habit, right? So right now I'm intermittent fasting. And then another habit will be, well, I'm writing down these 3 things I'm grateful for and I'm unwilling to do. And then next week, it may be something professionally I'm doing where I'm not on social media during the day, so I can focus more on work, right? And then the next week, I go back to health again, where I'm tracking my calories. And it's just, instead of these habits become my lifestyle, right? Like I love eating. It's my favorite thing in the world to do. But instead of saying, well, I'm on this diet, or I'm just saying, no, this is my lifestyle now. I'm intermittent fasting. And with that perspective and that switch towards this is going to get me to a future self that's going to be more healthy, it's been an easy transition, because I'm like, okay, this is just a part of my health now, and then I'm accountable for it. So those are, like, for me, I've been pretty excited about it, and I've been really diligent on doing the audiobooks and reading about, yeah, everyone wants to be happy, about how your mind works, like how the inner mind works, and like how your thinking affects everything else. So, but I just thought it was like a cool perspective to have the ability to look back at your past and realize that you control how you're looking at your past, regardless of how bad your past is. And, everyone's gone through the trials and tribulations, but the beautiful part about your mind and who you are is you get to control how you're looking at that.
You got me thinking a lot here. That's a long one, Nicole.
Nicole hit a long one. She'll text me later about it.
Yeah, that's a book. I can't post that. That'll take up the whole screen. It's funny. In the early 2000s, I was poor, and I wasn't doing well, and I was living in a little apartment, and I was divorced, and I had my 2 daughters. But I always had the mindset of someday have a house, be a suburban living, bourbon drinking son of a bitch. And look what happened.
Yeah, I think it's crazy.
Gotta believe.
Yeah, I don't think I didn't really be like, well, this is where I want to be at the end of the day. I was on this hamster wheel of I just want to keep making money and get stuff. Right? I didn't have that goal of I want to live on a cul-de-sac. What happened?
Scotty the bird was a parakeet.
Scouty. Who said that? My mom is still on the bird topic.
Mm-hmm.
Mom, we were having a very deep conversation.
She wanted to set the record straight, as they say.
My mom is like that.
I get it.
Like a basset hound. Once it's on the brain.
I understand that. She was like, you know what? Before all said and done, let's just...
It was a parrot. I don't care about your thoughts of the past and where we're going in our future.
I thought it was a dove.
It definitely wasn't a dove.
Are you sure? They're white.
No, it wasn't a dove.
Turtle
or
dove?
Scouty.
Are you sure it was Scouty? Because that looks like Scotty.
No, it's Scouty. My mom has a spelling problem, and I love you, Mom.
Maybe you couldn't say his name right. Sometimes,
parents do that.
Yeah. I love my bird. His name is Scouty. Yeah, it's a Scouty. It is.
Yes. I also had a hamster named Docile. Talk about going off.
You had a hamster named Docile?
Yeah.
Was it because he was docile?
He got caught in his little playscape because he got too fat.
Oh no.
But yeah, so I don't know where we were, but we were on a good conversation till my mom really interrupted.
Well, listen, Kelly got us back on track. She said, bottom line, you can use your past as a crutch to try and excuse your bad behavior, or you could use it as motivation to propel you into a better future.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
And then Scott Thomas said, my future self forgets the past. My signing other remembers everything.
Well, I mean,
then your mother said, I love you, Vincent, you ignorant son of a bitch.
That's something she would have said about 20 years ago, and not so much now.
That is hysterical.
But I think going to Kelly's point,
solid,
I don't know if I agree with that necessarily, because I think for me, I always thought my past and where you came from, and I had a good childhood, but we didn't have a lot of stuff, but I had a good childhood. And
a bird, for Christ's sake. That's
birds, rabbit, hamsters. We were
pretty good.
Yeah, we were living life.
I didn't have a bird.
I had a rabbit too. You just hop around.
Jesus Christ, really? A rabbit?
Just hop around the house.
Wait, what are you, Richie Rich?
But what my point is
this guy's like, I had a rough childhood. I had a horse and a rabbit and 3 parakeets.
A helipad.
No, wait, one of them was a macaw or so. What? What?
I had a helipad too.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. A helipad.
Wow, man, now I'm sweating, dude.
What was it like growing up that miserable? Phyllis.
It was tough. It was a grind, man.
This guy's just looking for excuses, I think.
Jeeves used to lose my shoes all the time. It was crazy.
Cut that crust off the toast, Jeeves.
Yeah.
What am I, a farmer? That shit out of here.
But listen, we got to get back on track.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. You're right.
So I think you could use your past to propel yourself.
Yeah.
to a better spot, but I prefer to like kind of use the future to pull me towards that spot.
Yeah. Nicole also followed up with, you're inspiring people, Vin, truly, with your words.
I mean, you've hit rock bottom if you're inspired by this guy, but I appreciate you, Nicole.
Nicole says, without the past, you could never become the person you are today.
That is true. That is true. It's all building blocks, and that's the beautiful part about life.
Yeah.
But I prefer to like to think like, and it's new for me, is trying to be pulled by my future instead of propelled by my past.
You know what? Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, for me, I think it works for me. Right?
I don't dwell on my past, and I don't really think about shit that happened already. It's kind of like dead and buried. See ya.
Yeah, but I don't know if we got to treat it that way, because to Nicole's point, it helped make you who you are today.
Yeah.
So I don't want to bury what I went through, because I'm proud of who I am.
I don't want to relive it.
Why not? Well, I mean, you don't have to relive it, but maybe you can relive it and look at your past in a different way.
Yeah.
And you might enjoy looking at your past a little bit better.
You know, Jim's calling bullshit. You didn't have a bird.
I had 2 birds, 1 stone.
Jim, right? Pictures or it didn't happen. He was like, I had a white bird, and I said, a dove, and he said, no, and I said, yeah, you didn't have a bird.
Is this what this show's about? My bird?
Yeah.
I'm going to go back in my photo albums, because it was before phones, bro. Scouty. White bird. My mom had to put it down. You know how she put the bird down?
I can only imagine.
She had to lay the bird on his back and pet his chest until the heart stopped.
Oh.
Yeah, how's that for real, Jimbo? Yeah, now shit got real. Ask my mom. She'll tell you. I also asked my mom what happened to my cool bird, because I still don't know what happened.
Who's the cool bird?
Bandit. That was one of those big green bird parrots that were mean.
I don't know what your mom's saying here now, but she did say
she doesn't type well. Stop.
Did 2 birds.
Yeah. Stop.
2 birds.
My mom to text. You can't.
2 birds, 1 stone.
My mom cannot type. Love you, Mom, but it's not your strong point.
Oh, look at people are all over. See, people want to protect your mom. They don't like your mom getting attacked like that.
My mom doesn't believe in punctuation. I love my mom, but it's one of those. Yeah, you know those people that just don't believe it, or they just start.
Phyllis, it's not like it's a formal essay contest that we're entering into. You just jot down a couple of thoughts. The words that you don't need punctuation. You'll figure it out, right? There's just a bunch of words. You know what? Take your comma and your period and put it where the fuck you want. How about that?
She throws the punctuation out like glitter. Wherever it lands, it lands. I love my mom, though. My mom's
Bandit just went back to the store. I guess you guys got a refund on Bandit, so that's cool. You didn't lose any money on that deal. That's
zero shot that bird went to the store.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't want this one anymore.
That's when my mom went to go hit me with that spoon, and the bird grabbed it. It was game over for that bird. Yeah.
You could tell this is a guy that had 2 birds and now he has none.
None, no birds.
Yeah,
close. No, but
I love your mom.
But that's my point.
She's a hoot.
I can laugh at. I look at my past. And I'm like, that's hilarious, right? Like that's just a fun time in my life. Like so, I think it's all perspective. If I'm like 17 and talking about my birds, I'm like, that's weird as shit. But now everyone makes fun of me and we laugh about it, right? But
yeah,
I think it's but that's funny. That is funny. The birds. I didn't think that was going to come up tonight, but it did. Because my mom's on here typing away, wailing away with no punctuation. Just typing with thumbs.
Not 1 bird. 2 birds. Didn't have that on your bingo card.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that weird. I had birds. I had a rabbit. I had some dogs. I had a cat.
I dated a girl once, and she was like, first time I went to her house, she was like, hey, just so you know, we have birds. And I thought, oh, I know some of those weird bird people. You know, they got like the 7-foot tall
cockadoo.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they make fun of you.
Yeah.
Mock you all night. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you get a cockatoo, you got to understand something. It's your personality now. The bird's your personality. You have your friends come over, so the bird will land on your head, and then you'll take it off your head and make it go on Vin's head. That's what you do when your bird becomes your personality.
I dated a girl in high school. So I went over a house. They had like this little ranch. She had like 20 birds. They had 3 spider monkeys. They had one of those like Stanford crazy orangutan joints that I saw grab her mom by the shirt and start slamming her against the cage. They had a pig in the kitchen. I think they had 2 flying squirrels.
Was this a farm?
No, it was like a ranch in Bristol.
Wait.
Not like a ranch, like a ranch house.
Ranch style house.
Yeah.
Like colonial Cape Cod. This was a ranch. Not like a ranch where cowboys work.
Yeah. How many ranches do you know in Connecticut? In Bristol?
Well, when you said ranch, I thought ranch. And then I thought, oh, maybe in the northwest corner of Connecticut, a ranch. No, and Bristol. Then you said Bristol, and I thought maybe there's a part of Bristol I've never been to.
Like Cadillac Ranch.
That's a ranch.
I got bit by a monkey and a pig in the same night. Not gonna lie. Bit by a fucking monkey and a pig. That was the end of that.
This guy got bit by a monkey and a pig, and he owned 2 birds. And I don't know about you.
I'm living.
This guy, none of this surprises me. If you gave me a list of weird shit and you wrote down had 2 birds, I'd have been like, oh yeah, I bet you one was a dove.
Definitely wasn't a dove.
You're not telling me anything about you I don't think I already feel like I knew without knowing.
Yeah, I'm an open book though, Joe. So, it's all or nothing here, people. It's all or nothing. I had a guy the other day. I was walking down the hallway in Hartford Court, and I like to give the blicky signs. What's going on?
All these great comments.
On my mom's punctuation.
That's really funny.
Did she spell that right?
She sure did.
Mom. All right.
And look, a period at the end of the sentence. Punctuation,
Where do you think
period.
I get my sense of humor from?
My mom. Your mom's hilarious.
Yeah, she's pretty funny.
Here comes Jim. A lot of bird memories. Now I know why Vin is having his future pull him away. It does make sense. You don't want to be a bird person your whole life.
What was that movie with Michael Keaton? Is that Birdman? Yes. That was a weird movie.
Vin is old McDonald. He really is. Yes, Scott. Nailing it.
What is it? Why is everyone attacking me tonight?
It's a comma. You're right. You're right. Thank you, Nicole. This is a fun show tonight.
I don't know. I feel like I'm getting roasted.
You are. And I think that's the fun. It's like the roast of Vin. Nobody knew this was going to happen. Tell us more weird shit about you. Yes.
Is it the suit?
I don't know if you can tell. That's Merlot.
Yes. It's like a cab.
Like a cab.
It's a cab.
It's like a nice, rich Cabernet from France.
Yeah. This is like I'm gonna beat your ass in court suit. This is the
for
one
sure.
I just bury bodies in this suit.
I like the ankle socks with it though.
Yeah, I got some fluid in my legs, so I can't wear socks anymore. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Joe. Hope you feel bad. Nice, dude.
Gonna edit that line out.
I do it to everyone in court. They're like, "Oh, nice socks." Oh, I have a disease. Did you know it was like National Rare Month disease? Yeah. So I'll let you know. It keeps coming up on my Instagram feed because I have a rare disease. Yep. Now y'all feel bad. No one's making fun of me now. Can't make fun of disease, boy, can you? Thought so.
Well, let's go to the cards.
We're already changing topics.
This is how you segue from an awkward situation back to fun time. What's something you wish you would have said to someone?
You go first. I don't even.
Oh man, do I have to? What's something you wish you would have said to someone? Well, it's funny, interesting. I was in a meeting today. You know why I told you, and I apologize for falling asleep earlier today. I got home from work earlier today from the radio station. And that's what led to that night I smoked a little marijuana. And so the combination of those things caused me to have a nap. Now, the question is, why the celebration? I had a meeting with my bosses today. I have 2 bosses. And typically it's funny because we're drinking some bourbon. Here, toast me for a second. This is usually whenever I'm meeting with these guys, it's like an episode of Mad Men.
Never seen the show.
Oh my God. All right. Different reference. Every time I meet with them, it's like a bunch of older white misogynists. Yeah. Okay. You're not feeling me there.
Are we still on this question?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's what happened. I had this meeting. It ended up, I don't know. It was supposed to be a bad meeting, and it ended up being a great meeting. Okay. Jim, I apologize. Vinny and I actually have matching glasses, and
Jim called you out on your
Jim did.
sippy cup?
He did.
It's awful.
This is plastic.
Cheers to Jim.
Anyway, I was in my meeting, and it was going so well. And I had a situation at work a couple weeks ago where somebody was being a little bitch. This guy I work with asked about something 3 weeks in the future. And I was on vacation, but I was working through my vacation. But this guy's bullshit low priority question, I'll let you know in 4 days when I get back from vacation, right? Well, he ran and told the boss. And then one boss told the other boss, and then I got an email, and problem resolved. A couple of my coworkers were like, dude, don't make a big deal about it. Whatever, let it go. And I'm not a let it go person. But I let it go. And I'm in this meeting today, and it's going great. Mm-hmm. I was supposed to get some shit in this meeting, and it was the opposite of that. All right. And then all of a sudden, my boss made a reference to the scenario I'm talking about, and I fucking blew up. Not like at him, but in general about what a bitch this guy Drew was. He's 80. He doesn't go on Facebook. So I'll say that about him. I'm like, dude, the guy ran and like bitched to the other boss and then to you because he didn't get an answer fast enough. Boo-hoo! I said, you know where I was? He goes, you were on vacation. I go, yeah. Yeah. He's going to get his answer on Monday. So you know what? I said what I wanted to say. And I was going to send an email to everybody and include my boss on it. No, listen.
Joe.
Here's the thing. I don't like when people question my work ethic or anything about the way I work. Why? Unless, listen, if I do something wrong, bust me out and I'll be the first person to own up to shit. Don't come at me with some weak deflective bullshit because you're having issues in your department and you're trying to deflect like that. The issue had something to do with the issues you're dealing with. That's your shit.
Yeah, but that's your job to realize that. It's not his job.
It's my job to do my job, which I do. I do it very well.
Okay.
So this guy
that's
Drew.
All you got to be worried about.
No. But you're not going to impugn me if you're wrong. Do you understand?
Yeah, but why does it affect you?
Because it does. I was going to let it go. I wasn't going to say anything.
Okay.
And then he brought it up, very casually referenced it, like it was a thing. And
but it didn't. But why react?
But that's my point. I said the thing I wanted to say. I got it out. I was trying to write an email back, right, to get everybody on it. And I wrote this like really sharp-tongued. It was good. A lot of hidden poking jabs, a lot of digs.
All that effort for what?
So I want to be right.
Like, you could have done so much more things, or just maybe been a little bit happier.
It didn't take me any time, and I am happy. I'm very happy, and I said what I wanted to say. I got to say it. I got to call the guy at work a bitch to our boss, to the highest boss there is.
Did that make a difference?
Yeah, it did.
Why?
I called this other man a bitch. I'm sorry to say, but in my boss's eyes, that guy's forever tainted.
It's not. It's not.
I'm going to refer to that guy as a bitch every time I talk to my boss from here on out to reinforce that notion.
You're a little angry, man.
Until I hear my boss calling him, "Hey, bitch," I'm not going to stop. That's when I'll know it's over.
We got to work on this. You really got to work on this. Because the way I look at it is, this guy who's apparently a bitch is really just mind raping you right now, because he's living in your head. Because you're talking about it, using our precious airtime, talking about.
I'm talking about it because I won the question. The question is, what is something you wish you would have said? And I'm telling you, I passed on saying it initially.
Yeah, but that wasn't the question.
And then I brought the smoke.
It didn't say, what did you pass on initially, and then actually said,
what's something you wish you would have said? Now, again,
but you said it.
If I pulled this card yesterday, that's what I would have said.
Yeah.
Jim's there.
I don't know about that, buddy.
By the way, Kelly, yes, Vin's available as a life coach. And no joke, a buddy of mine literally came to me and was like, "Tell me about your buddy Vin. I'm thinking about like signing up for some life coaching lessons." And I was like, if you're going to take life lessons from anybody, should be this guy.
Sorry.
You're a baller. You are.
No, not me. I don't know if I have one for this one. What's something you wish you would have said to somebody?
Maybe a father figure, like.
Actually, probably the only thing. So when my boss died, I think the last thing I said to him, because he was bothering me all night, I think I said, "Fuck you," and I hung up the phone. Then he had a heart attack probably 2 hours later. But I probably...
You don't think that?
No, it wasn't. I don't have that much power. Because I hate that too, by the way, right? My wife said you're going to speak things into existence. Like, if I had that kind of power, like, I'd be living a crazy life right now. But I think it was probably, and I wouldn't have done it then because I wasn't at that place in my life where I could have conversations like we have here, right? But I think I wish I would have just sat down and be like, listen, like, this is what, like, you mean, like, to me, right? Like, I think those, so I don't think it's like one conversation. I think it's, I wish I knew now I wish I knew then what I knew now, meaning that I wish I took the time out to have more conversations with more people, because I think a lot of things were left on the table that I didn't say. And I didn't have the wherewithal to have those conversations. So it's not really one point in my life or one person. I think it's just a time period in my life where I could have taken time just to have a conversation and I didn't. So, but I think that's part of the progress of, instead of looking back, being mad or regretting that, it's like, okay, I'm happy. I can look back and say, you know what, I realized that and I'm not going to do it.
What was his name?
My boss?
Yeah.
Mike Auger.
What is it?
Mike Auger.
Mike Auger.
Yeah.
I feel like you're on the ropes.
No.
A little bit.
Not a shot.
Can I paraphrase
your
answer?
Yeah.
You wish you would have told Mike Auger,
I love him.
I love you.
Got no problem with that now.
Thanks for believing in me. Thank you for seeing the real me.
It's not going to happen, Joe.
Thank you, Mike, for believing in me. For allowing me to put those birds in the past.
If you start talking like you're him, you might get me, dude. Nice try. But yeah,
that's beautiful. You got a little choked up there for a minute too. That's a beautiful thing. Now that I'm thinking about it, I should have probably said something nice to somebody. Yeah. That's what the answer should have been. That's my bad.
Yeah, no, it's not even nice. I think it's just overall like conversations, like. But that's why I enjoy doing this podcast now, because this is not something I would have done 5 or 6 years ago. I'd be like 2 dudes just talking about feelings and stuff.
It's almost like Mike was setting us up here. because there's a card sticking to that card. And the next card asks,
this might get me.
What is something someone said to you that will stay with you forever?
Ooh. Oh, that's a good one. You got to go first on that one.
You know, I'll tell you. I've got the answer. Mm-hmm. What is something someone said to you that will stay with you forever? My grandfather died when I was 5. My pop. You remember Pop from a few episodes ago? Pop. My grandfather died when I was 5, and I have like 3 memories of my grandfather. 45 years later, I have 3 very distinct memories, but I remember the thing he used. I only like remember him saying one thing to me, like his words. And he said, never quit.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That has, honest to God, like, I don't know. I feel like that's been because that's a big thing in my family. We don't quit. We don't give up on shit. If we commit to something, we follow up and we do it. Like that's always been big to me. It's big to my kids. It's big in my family. But he said that to me. And again, he was a super guy, very racist, but at the time that was normal. You know what I mean? It's very normal. He's from New Jersey. It's Italian. You know what I mean? Anyway, other than that flaw, he'd be canceled now. But other than that,
it's before I go to mine. So it's funny you say that. So my mom and my dad, they were big into don't ever say you can't. Right, like that was the thing. Right, like don't ever say you can't do something. I think with me, because I have CMT and I used to fall down all the time. I had to wear knee pads. Like it was a shit show. And but I always wanted to play sports. And I'm like, I just can't do it. And both my parents, like both of them, they don't really see eye to eye on stuff. But there was lockstep. But I don't think a lot of kids get that now, right? Where, it's either you don't get to teach your kids that not to say can't or you won't, or you get the parents that tell their kids they can be whatever they want to be. And I know we're getting off topic, but there's nothing more infuriating than a parent. Like I'll be in the elevator in court and some mom's talking to her kid, be like, you can be whatever you want to be. Well, no, you can't. Because I really think there's just some people who can't be astronauts.
Yeah.
But, so it's all right for your kid to dream, but, let's keep it somewhat realistic. But I think for me growing up, so my mentality now is that you tell me I can't do something, I promise you I'm going to do it. Like, so if you need to motivate me to do something, it's not like the money and all of that is you tell me I can't go do it, I'm going to do it. So, I think from that end, we're lockstep. Mine, and it's totally random. Like, and I don't even know if we talked about this before. 8th grade, my reading teacher, Mr. Casey. So it was 8th grade graduation, and I remember he said, "You're gonna see my name in lights." And from that, I literally from that moment, I'm like, I gotta go do something big. I mean, I haven't gotten there yet. I got a few more years under my belt.
You're on your way,
one time though. I was on a billboard, so technically,
there you go. That's lights.
But I think that, but just from a teacher, right? Like I think teachers don't get enough credit, and you never know. A teacher never knows what you're going to say to a person. And I think anyone in general, right? Like going back to the previous conversation of not having conversations with people, you never know what that one thing you say may spark that ripple effect down the line, right? So I think that for me, that was probably one thing that I remember that someone was like, and that kind of spearheaded, I got to go do well in school and that whole bit. So that'd be cool to tell him that, but I don't think he's alive anymore. But
my old high school principal just passed away. and I'll never forget. He had at my graduation a very inspiring line. I'll never forget this. He said, "Those who can do, those who can't teach here."
Oh, that's a classic line. I've heard that a bunch when I was in law school. So I used to say that all the time because I'd be sitting in class and I don't know if I wasn't law school material, but I'm looking at these professors just spit all over the classroom and they're worked up about constitutional law. And I'm like, these guys have never practiced in their life. And I can't stand that. You're always smirking when I'm talking, by the way.
I love listening to you.
I can't see that far.
No, I know. I was going to read. I like to read these to you. I enjoy reading these to you. It's like your bedtime story. Nicole says, my Nana said, I don't know if she called her Nana. I'm assuming she said my grandmother, but I'm gonna try to humanize Nicole's grandmother. So Nana said, once you learn life's dance, you can make it through anything and will achieve success.
It's true. Life is a dance.
That's a long life lesson right there, Nicole. But thank you for sharing that. Kelly's got it down. This is a little more. This is her dad.
All right.
Yeah, grandmother, compound sentence, multiple thoughts.
Yes.
Father said, do whatever.
I love it.
Do anything. Right?
It is,
that's how men give you the advice.
Yeah.
Don't quit. Yeah. Do anything.
I don't want to hear you say can't.
Grandmother's like, listen, hold your head up. Yeah. Put your chest out. Take stock of your friend. All right, Grandma. Jesus Christ.
I just asked for one thing.
I know. God, that's what, $20, bitch. Jesus.
Just trying to get some money.
Oh, was I right? Is it Nana?
Yeah. No, we're gonna pick another card here. Joe's already he's bourbon Joe right now.
I'm having a good time tonight.
All right. We already done that one. Ooh, I like this one.
Ooh. Ready? Do you believe in second chances?
You going or am I going?
I'll go first because you always make me go first. I'll go first. If it's a romantic partner, the answer is never. No retreads. I don't do second chances. If we broke up, it's now been established. You know those couples that break up and get back together and break up and no, hold on. All right. So if we're talking about relationships, second chances, no. Now, if we're talking about friends who betray you, the answer also is no. If we're talking about people who have committed minor indiscretions against me, own up and apologize, again, the answer is no. Do I believe in second chances? Goddamn right I do. You know? I mean, if you're sincere, the answer's still going to be no. But I won't hate you.
So I think if you would have asked me this 5 years ago, my answers probably would have been exactly the same.
No way.
I was my time is precious. You get one shot and that's it. I don't feel that way anymore. I don't know if it's a second chance, but I will say I'm not going to forget. So when people mess up,
you forgive, but you don't forget.
Yeah, but
you kind of hold it over their head the rest of the
I don't. But
eternity.
now I know who I'm dealing with. So
you've shown your real face, you scumbag.
No, but it's such.
Oh wait,
I'm trying to be serious, Joe.
I know. I can't. I want to be serious too, but. Phyllis just commented, Joe, you are funny, and I appreciate that.
That's why you wanted to go back to the
But
comments.
then Jim hit me up here. Okay. He said, that's a hurt man. Yeah, I am. And you know what I've done with my feelings?
You tucked it in.
Suppressed.
He's not.
Suppressed, and I express it with rage. That's what my therapist told me today.
You need to evolve a little bit.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah, I've actually evolved to that. It's a fucking psycho before that. Yeah, boy, have I calmed down.
Yeah. I think, Yeah, it's not second chance. It's just a new chance. It's just a different circumstance. Because I'd rather it is.
That was pretty cool.
Well,
That was
because
a little
like
rhyme.
say like you're my friend, right? And you do some fucked up shit and like backstab me. You're not. I'll talk to you again, but we're never going to be that same.
Yeah.
Same friendship.
100%.
So, like, and I'm glad you did it because now I know who you really are. So I don't mind you hanging out in my circle, but now I know what I'm dealing with. So I think like for me, like I had posted this on social media a couple of weeks ago. I've been really trying to work on my peace, and it sounds crazy, and everyone calls me bullshit because 90% of the day I'm raging, which is 100% true. I'm not a very peaceful person, but I am trying to be peaceful. So when you get mad about some dude talking shit at the office, and you get all fired up about it, you're fucking with your peace.
Yeah.
So like for me, I think it's much more effective, and I think it's a big middle finger to the other person when you don't react. It's so much simpler.
I get that. Listen, I can well place indifference on something where it's like that doesn't even matter.
Being different on anything.
Hang on. Here's a comment from Jim. This clearly came from his mom or his grandmother. Second chance is just the first chance to get it right this time. That's something a woman said. You could tell. That's a thought of a woman because it starts here, and then it goes here, and then it ends up here.
It's like an oven mitt.
Here's what your dad would have said. No second chances. And that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Just like that.
But I will agree with the relationship aspect of it. Like wife, like boyfriend, girlfriend, like no, the sequel's never better than the first time. Ever.
I had friends like in high school and then like they would break up and they get back together and they would break up and then she slept with somebody and then they get back together and it's like why do you guys keep inflicting this on each other? Let it go. It's over.
I mean, I've been doing divorces for almost 20 years now and I've seen two couples split and get back together and it works.
Mm-hmm. Two.
Over
those are the only two in the history of the world.
No, but like I think the problem is that you really got to go work on yourselves before you get back to it. But back to me having serious conversations and Joe just loving his fanboys over here. We're gonna have to stop going live pretty soon, dude. Or you gotta lay off the bourbon.
Jim liked that line before. It was good. Kelly says, "Not this woman." Second chances here.
No, Kelly's a one and doneer.
Yeah.
Hey, Kelly's not one to mess with. She's very much one and done.
I like to ice people out. I'm a big fan of the ice out. If you've done me wrong and you've come to me and you're like, hey, look, I'm really sorry. I'm like, no, that's cool. We're good. And then you text me later and I just never respond ever again because I blocked you.
No, so like I have no problem walking away from you if you don't own your shit.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't own it and then, like, actually change it, you just do the same shit the next day, like, no. But if you come in and have a conversation, I'll give you a shot. But, like, my antennas, my guards are up. But, like, if you don't, like my dad, you didn't own your shit 3 years, dude. Like, it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone looking for, like, an older son and you got money, looking for someone to leave it to.
Who's your daddy?
Jim, could you be my dad? Jim Bracken. Yeah, we call him Billy Bucks.
I am not the one, said Kelly.
No, Kelly's gonna get aggressive pretty soon. She's like you, Joe. She might give you a run for your money on aggressiveness.
Good. We need more Kellys out there.
Are we doing another card? You're just gonna keep reading your fanboy comments. It's very distracting for Joe.
Nicole said, Wednesday, I had to talk my own kid down and saw a little of my divorce before I learned to find peace and ride the crazy. Now I'm poor. Now I'm like poor Vin. Karma.
No, Nicole was great. She's good people. But like, I will tell you, if my clients aren't emotional about their case, like in some aspect, then you're a sociopath. Because then you just have no feelings. Like my ex-wife just stared at me across the hall before our divorce was going off. I was like, you good? And I'm like, chill out, Sniper Sam.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Jim has an answer. He says, no birds in this house. You wouldn't like it here.
you're regulated to apple juice after this, man. Man, it's gonna be the Jim and Joe show pretty soon. Little J and J.
I'm enjoying this. Is fun.
I know.
Where's Phyllis? Is Phyllis gone?
Yeah,
Sniper Sam.
We're all right, guys. We're gonna pick a card, and then you guys got to answer the question. So we're gonna
audience participation.
Audience participation. We are gonna read your answers out loud. So we do have an audio show. Oh, here we go. Let's get personal with our fans.
What is your favorite quality about yourself?
Oh, yes.
Your favorite quality about yourself. Mine is obviously I'm a very humble guy.
The most humble.
Possibly the most humble. Possibly.
Come on, be serious, dude. You got to encourage.
No, all right. You're right. You know what? You know what the problem is?
I don't even want to know.
Oh, Phyllis is here. Look, I'm here. Bird lady.
This show. I did need this tonight. I'm not gonna lie. I've had a run of a few days, so this has been very cathartic.
Look at this. Oh, I think I put this one up before. This is the one where your mom said, Joe, you are funny. That's what I do this for. I do this for the comments. The funny comments, but also the funny comments. What is your favorite quality about yourself? Everybody, Phyllis, obviously your punctuation skills, a fine quality.
Why are you ragging on my mom, bro?
Because your mom's awesome, and I'm really. Where's your sister, by the way?
She's too important now.
Oh,
she's building a house in Middlebury.
Can't cut an hour out of your busy schedule building a home for your family. Jesus Christ, selfish.
It's ridiculous. Everyone putting comments in. Are we doing this or what?
I need to see comment. I need some answers. Jim, what is your favorite quality about yourself?
He loves Jim.
I bet you that's it. What's your favorite quality about yourself? That you're
presently,
you're
right
fabulous.
Now? Huh?
You're fabulous.
I am very humble too. I think if we're sitting here today, this week,
yeah.
My ability to stay on track with my goals, like to be focused.
Yeah, true. That is good.
And I think my qualities change from week to week or day to day. But as I sit here now, I've been pretty locked in with that. So I think that's my biggest quality, being able to stay focused on what I'm doing and dedicated. That's today. Could be different tomorrow. I know it's not as funny, but I'm real, Joe. I'm real. I'm not hiding behind jokes, Joe.
Yeah, you remember when I was like, hey, if you could visit anyone from the past, alive or dead, and you picked your wife who you're with every day.
No,
I know. Listen,
that's
you're not going.
From bed.
I go for the comical answer. I'm trying to get cheap laughs, trying to get some validation with the laughs, And you're all over here being all honest and open and vulnerable and emotional. And then we get these emails and it's like the latest episode was so impactful. And I'm like, they're not talking about me. They don't mean, and it's like the way you and Vinny mixed the humor with the wit. It's like, I wasn't witty at all, was I?
You get the present like right now, Shine. I get the guys who are just scribbling on toilet paper while they're pooping, listening to the podcast. I need to write an email about it.
Dear Joe and Vinny.
Did anyone answer a question?
Not yet. Come on. What's your favorite quality? Oh, no, maybe they did.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Nicole, brutally honest.
She is.
Kelly, Vin is ride or die.
I am.
Loyal to a faulty.
That's true. But Kelly, what's your we need to know what your favorite quality about yourself is.
Nicole says compassion for others.
Yeah.
Your mom did say, look at that punctuation. She works in the school system. So she's impacting children every day.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
She did. She's out, dude.
And of Jim Bracken. This is good. Jim says, obviously, my compassion. For example, fostering a dog. And I told my kids I can stay one more day before we bring it back to the dog dungeon.
Hey, Jim, by the way, you know I have a dog rescue, right? So thank you for reaching out to foster one of our dogs. You're the man.
Kelly says Scott says that her best quality is her buttocks.
I knew that was coming.
I don't know Scott, but I like Scott. I get you, brother.
Scott's a good guy. He's good. He is one of the best guitar players you'll ever see.
I did not know that. You know what I will say? This is interesting. You know, I mentioned my group of friends earlier.
Yes.
Right. And I love those guys, and I make fun of RC, but he is a great guy. I forgot what I was gonna say. No, what were we just talking about?
Guitars.
Before that.
I can't say
what was before guitars.
Kelly's bum. We weren't talking about that, Scott.
What were we talking about, Scott? I said I like Scott. I get you.
Then I said he's one of the best guitar players you'll ever see.
Yep. Then I started thinking about guitars. Fenders mostly.
Okay, this is going bad. Save it, Joe. Like, what is going on?
I'm not allowed to rescue anymore right now. I have 3, said Nicole. What are you making all these people foster dogs? Oh, I know what I was going to say. Thank you for reminding me in a roundabout way. Everybody that I know through you are good people. Good quality people.
I have a good circle. Yeah. I think I will. The question's not in there, but yes, I think that's probably one of my favorite things about my life is that, you know, remember when we had that one about the doors, floors, and windows?
Yeah.
I've been able to kind of compartmentalize, but I do have, and not everyone's my best friend, but like the people I surround myself with are very good people because I think, one, the people you hang out with are a reflection.
Yes.
You know, so I think that is very important because you don't want to meet some jerk and be like, well, you know, am I that person? But I think what I'm most proud of is that my friend group is the most diverse friend group you'll ever see. Like they're all different walks of life, different personalities into different things, which keeps me well-rounded. So I don't want to hang out with people like me. So most of my friends aren't like me. They're good people, but they're not me, which is what I like, right? Because you get people like, imagine hanging around with like 5 dudes that are like Vin. Like that would be the worst time of your life, right? But I think having people that have different experiences, even different views, right? I think a lot of my friends, we all have different views on different things in life, but we're able to have these conversations. But you know, I've never met anyone who had anything bad to say about you, except for that dude from the office you called a bitch. He just texted me.
Fuck you, Drew.
You found me on my website.
Yeah. To your point, by the way, and that's a really good one. And the reason why I was just referencing my group of friends is what I eventually found out from this extended, it was like maybe a dozen people in this group. And my wife there was a couple of women that she's still really good friends with. The common person was my buddy Kevin.
Yep.
Right. And then Kevin's brother Sean, and there's like 6 guys from his wing, and then 2 of Kevin's best friends, and then this girl that Kevin is friends with. He was the common thread. But I remember we were all together. We used to go hiking every year together. We used to go on this like 5-day camping trip. This huge group of people. And sitting around the fire one night, I realized it was like, dude, it's Kevin.
Yeah.
Everybody here is connected to this group through Kevin somehow. And it occurred to me because Kevin's fucking insane. Kevin's the guy that pulls his dick out at parties. And everybody loves it. You know what I mean? He's that guy. He pulls it out and everybody's like, oh, look, Kevin's dick is out. That's hilarious. If that didn't happen to anybody else, right, you'd call the cops.
Yeah, that's weird.
Kevin does it, and everybody loves it because Kevin's that kind of guy, and Kevin has surrounded himself with really good people, quality people. who can look past his alcoholism or whatever it is that makes him pull his dick out all the time. Yeah. It is hilarious, though, Kev.
I was like, that was a weird.
Yeah.
I mean, to bring that.
I just meant to say how important it is to
find
see your friend's penis.
Yes, to find people you can hang out with and pull your dick out.
Yeah,
I got it.
That's when you know you're with the right people.
And it's one way to end the show.
Strange parties, Jim said. And Scott, that's good. Is Kevin really Louis C.K.? Yes, he is.
I just started sweating. So I just let you know, none of my friends pull their dicks out at parties. So depending on what kind of party you want to go to.
I've been to parties with you, not honest to God, no dicks. Not a dick yet.
I haven't whipped the dick out yet. It's not. I'm not there. I'm not that confident.
That's why I continue to party with this guy. No dicks. It's great.
Right. Well, what time we got here, Joe?
We're almost at an hour and a half. So
I want to end it on my friend whips his dick out.
Oh no, let's end it with this.
All right.
Are you ready for this? I don't think you are.
I'm ready.
Look close.
I gotta put my glasses on. What is that? My mom. We're gonna end it on this. So after this conversation, my mom just asked Joe, little or big dick. Change your plans, ladies and gentlemen. You wonder where I get my sense of humor from? That's Mrs. P, as I like to call her. So it's been fun, been real. Hit me up if you need something. Until next week, ladies and gentlemen. And my mom wants to know, is it a little or a big dick? That's all I got for you.
Can't believe
Change your plans.
What a great way to end the show.